All right. We are live. Let's see who is in the house today. Those with a keen eye will notice I've got a green shirt on today. That might be pertinent. Just operated a tea bag here while the room fills up. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty bullish today. I am feeling pretty bullish. I got the green top on, you know.
We should do like a backdrop, half bullish or half bearish you feel this morning. And
Yeah. It's in the Hey, good morning, Jim. I did reply to your comment and I did find your RTV definition very funny. I did. All right. Okay. How are we feeling this morning then? Are we feeling bearish or bullish? You can just put bull or bear in there, or let's just try and get a quite positive. I like that, Graham. I like that. Bullish. Oh, capitalized bullish there. Green for Green Bay Packers. All right.
morning.
Come on.
Sideways. Right.
Nice. All right. So
Interesting. Okay.
Miles thinks we're going to have a bit more of a pullback. Okay. All right. All right. Well, generally kind of bullish bullish sentiments then. So right, which screen do I want to share? I think I want to share this one. All right. Okay. So this was the post that I put in the group then just before we started. So yeah, anybody that's a newer member that's never heard the term RTV and RTC, you're going to be thinking, like what are you talking about? Okay. This is a really cool thing to be inquisitive about. And I'll show you an example on the BTC daily chart, okay, that happened over the weekend. So one little trick here, if you right click, I think with Mac, you press Command and then right click, then you can just open stuff in a new window. There's no functionality with this Mighty Networks where I can tell it to open it in a new window in these posts. It's a bit of a pain, right? And then that will take you to this document, which you can download as well, okay? So that's one that you want to have a study of if you don't understand it. So it's a retest pattern in essence. And if we just look at what we've marked up here, okay, so the number one condition is that we've got the lowest low in 10 bars. And then the number two condition is a higher close. And then the number three condition is a lower close. And then the retest pattern is then complete. This just happened to work out completely perfectly in sort of three candles, okay? It doesn't have to be as strict as that. And any original CSI members will tell you that myself and Maurizio have faced every kind of wiggly, squiggly question about this setup, okay? But it is basically around this, okay? Yes, you could have numerous bars here before the whether it goes up or whether it goes down. Sorry, I completely lost my drift then. So yeah, I don't want to get bogged down in that, but get to know that pattern a little bit. Now, the way that you can do it is I've included a pre-done search string for you. Okay, I know that searching the group is something that we're quite resistant to, but believe me, it's a hell of an experience. You put something in the search bar and everything you want pops up. It's amazing. Okay, so what you'll see is then you'll just get an idea because it's Scott named it, etc., etc., and Scott's taken probably more than 10,000 trades in his career with this. Okay, so you can just have a look through some of these posts. You can see members that are using it. There's Jim's room temperature vulcanizing. Okay, and I think the RTV and the RTC, I don't think it's a great name. I think it's just these kind of odd names that Scott made for like retest, maybe variable or retest concept. Like the names might sell it a little bit short of the the actual power of it. But the point is, if you come in here, you know, you'll see search results for people that have used it. So it's a fun pattern to get to know. Okay, so let's go over to the daily chart of BTC. So this is the pattern that we were just looking at then, the retest pattern. But what's kind of interesting here on the daily is we can see how many times we've breached the bottom of this range. Okay, and this here, this section here below that red line, that's a liquidity pool. Okay, so each time we get a wick come down, we grab a little bit of liquidity. That means that people have placed orders there, okay, because they think that Bitcoin might go down there. So if we were to lose this level, then you would be looking at something around eyeball measurement here, which is good enough. You'd be looking at something around, you know, sort of 90,000. Okay. Yeah, it could go a little bit lower. You could extend this line down a little bit, but in general, okay, that would be a liquidity pool. And that's where I'd expect price to go if you broke down. However, we've had this now successful retest. Okay. So every time we see this, lowest low in 10 bars, higher close, lower close, okay, then we come down. So it doesn't mean that we're going to go to the top of the range every time, does it? But we've wicked down here. And look at that huge capitulation candle. So this is just all choppy, horrible, messy, you know, like this is not nice to trade. And this is how you start to get a feel for this. Sure, you can trade this. You could trade the range. You put an order in somewhere around the bottom, and then you put an order in somewhere around the top. Fill, sell, fill, sell, fill, sell. Okay. But as you can see, it's not always guaranteed. That's why we operate in probabilities and percentages. Okay. So now we've come down. Eventually, we do get up there. We show a huge amount of retesting intent here. I mean, we almost make it to the bottom, so we get to the top of the range. But well, price did go over it briefly there, but we closed under, you know, that level. And then we come down, we got the retest, and then we go back up again. But this time we do manage to break through, and then we come back down again. Again, this just hoppy, choppy, repeating price action. Well, now that we've had this pattern fire yet again, my probability is going to say 75% chance that over time, so not maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe it's this week, over time, we will head back to the top of that range, and then we'll wait and see what kind of interaction price gets with the top of that range. I mean, what we want, you know, and what we can see is a weakening of this as a resistance so that we can flip it into support. And that's the idea of these retests. Okay, we would break through there. Okay, and then we would come back down. And I know that that wouldn't be the lowest low in 10 bars, because now we would be retesting this line here. Okay, so if we close above it, and then the retest would be, can we close the next day still above that line? We could downside wick into it, but as long as it closes above that line, you know, then things should be pretty good for us. Okay. So keep looking out for them all the time, and keep looking out for them whenever there's a support or a resistance involved, because it's the interaction with price at these supports and resistances that creates the various opportunities. So that's zooming in quite a bit on the daily. But let's go to the weekly. So the weekly is where you can just find some sanity. Okay. It is. I mean, you look at that daily, or if you go lower, it just drives yourself insane. Okay. So if we look at what I've drawn here, okay, is there anybody that's looking at this weekly chart and is going to change their mind as to whether we're bearish or bullish? Is anybody looking at this weekly chart thinking, oh, these recent events have just been so totally out of whack. Or who's looking at this going, oh, okay, then, all right, then. So price is pretty much just within this range. If I was to draw a line in the middle of that, just with my eyesight, then I could say I've got a top half of a range and I've got a bottom half of a range. And at the moment, I'm in the bottom half of the range. However, there's been a grab here, okay, with that downside wick, but we still closed above that blue line. And now this week, we've closed above that blue line. So things are looking very positive to me. Things, you know, I'm not looking at this thinking like, oh my God, like, look at Bitcoin, it's just capitulating. It's not. Now, you remember that red line that we drew earlier on the daily chart that was really messy? And I said, if price breaks down, this is likely going to be the region that price breaks down into for a liquidity grab. Well, we can see that even easier and even more clearly on the weekly chart. You know, we've got that wick all the way down there that did actually get past that red line. So when I look at that, I'm feeling bullish. I'm giving us a 75% chance that we, not a straight shot, just over time, that could mean the week, that we head up towards the top of the range. Okay. So that's what I'm interested in with Bitcoin now. If I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, right, what's the work that I need to do for the rest of this week with Bitcoin? Well, what I need to do is I need to think about what are the different weekly candle closes that could happen. Okay. It's like the weekly candle could close below the blue line. What would that mean for price? Could close below the red line. What does that mean for price? Could close above the center of this range. What does that mean for price? Could close above the blue line. What does that mean for price? Okay. So one of those events is going to happen. I'm not saying that exactly this, just this, but you know, like, what else could price do? Yes, it could absolutely just blow off top and go to $1 billion. It could go down to zero, but that's really at the extremities, isn't it? So then we got to keep coming inwards from what are those extremities. We're not trying to guess, like in the sense of I'm going to guess and I'm going to bet my money, because we're trying to forecast based on the information that we've got so that we can place an entry at the most appropriate time, which is the perfect seg to hand over to Maurizio, who is the man that calls out the trade alerts, who is the person that does all this and figures out what is the best time or the highest probability time of getting the result that we want, or when do all the stars align so that I look at this trade and I think, well, my normal risk to reward is 2 to 1. And I can see that this trade can achieve 4 to 1 with relative ease. I'm feeling pretty good about this trade. It's just done the retest pattern as well. That's kind of confluence now, and so on and so forth. And that's how we build together a picture of the price action. With that said,
Awesome.
over to you, sir.
Mike, that was a great, like, yeah, you were sort of looking at the same thing. Let me just share my screen. By the way, guys, how you guys doing today? It's been a really interesting week. A lot of choppiness around the market, man. So let me go back to Bitcoin first. Right here. Do you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So definitely well spot on that you actually have two confluences on price with the RTV. So if we're looking from the weekly perspective, right, we do have a setup in a way, right? We do have if you look at here, we do have sort of like an RTV that is forming, right, in a way. But then the thing is, this low is lower. However, on the daily, right, and this is just very technical, guys, in terms of setups and how do we define setups and why the price actually make new lows and things like that. And Ian was spot on. What price makes new lows and it comes back when it's a lot of orders on this area. That's why I highlighted this a while back. Like this is the first indication this day here, which it was on the 5th of December, that there is a lot of orders around this area. So that made me realize that that could be the first sort of area to draw, right? And funny enough, every time that it touches that level, you know, it bounces, it bounces, it bounces, it bounces. So it looks like it's a big level. Well, but the thing though is, if we lose this level, what could be the next level, right? So if this level is broken, imagine people that are actually going long here. Where do you think the stop loss is going to be? Roughly at about here, right? About the 90K. What do you guys think? Let's say if I go long, if I went long just because I know this level, and if I go long here, when do you think a reasonable stop loss might look like? Let me just bring up the chat, that I don't have the chat.
Yeah, pop a price in the chat then. This is a great question. Below range. So just maybe Martin, it's like just below range at say 91 or something.
Yeah.
88. Yeah,
Give me the price.
Suggestions.
Yeah, 86. Yeah, that's reasonable. Definitely 90. Yeah, I'm more inclined towards 90, between 89 and 90, you know, because that area is very sort of juicy. So if it runs, like if you get a lot of stop losses run, then I could see a drop towards the 84. And if that one loses, then there is no liquidity around here on those levels. As you can see, this just went through all the way up. So there's going to be a lot of people finding what the right price to rebuy at will be. You know, that's the challenge if we lose this level. Is this level completely out of the picture? It's less of a probability, but it is still within the picture. So I'll be closing, you know, I'll be having a closer look if that happens, definitely on daily, because that you know, that essentially is what's going to happen. You know, a lot of stop losses, people that went long, people are actually shorting, and yeah, that's what we're trying to track, right? Like that's what the whole game looks like. So that's my take in Bitcoin. However, this morning started to get a little bit stronger, right? Like, you know, like probably an hour prior call, price seemed to be starting to move. But let me show you what I'm saying. And this is quite if you load Velo data, and obviously if you load the open interest and things like that, if you go to sort of like a smaller time frame, 5 minutes, let's talk about Bitcoin first, and then I'll show you Ethereum. So from the smaller time frame, I just want to see what's going on and what is the main driver of this pump or your price increase or whatever you want to call it, right? So the first thing that you see here is that the price actually break here, this high, like you price in about 5 minutes went from in 10 minutes, right? Went from 94,445 all the way up to 95,244, okay? But then you do have this massive open interest decrease here, and you have liquidations to the upside. What that means is there was a lot of shorts, right? People shorting Bitcoin, thinking that Bitcoin might go lower. And then now you have a massive spike to the upside, right? And then you get liquidations on people that actually went short. And now the thing is, I want to see what is the market reaction around this, right? Like, and this is just to trade small time frames, but it gives you a really good indication of what might looks like in the next couple of hours, weeks, or days or so. So essentially, if you have a look at here, what's happening after the liquidation, right? You see, so what happens after the liquidation is people are actually taking, forced to sell or forced to buy, they're forced to close their positions. That's why you have massive things out. That's how you sort of interpret these open interests. So open interest doesn't mean anything. It just means, like, if it's positive or negative, it doesn't mean that the market is going up or down. It's just the amount of positions that are in the market. Therefore, if you combine this with liquidations, then you can actually feel what's going on at the moment. So liquidations are going out, liquidations to that, like is the market is liquidating all the shorts, technically not all of them, because you don't know how much essentially are, but a big chunk got liquidated here. And then it looks like some people started shorting again. Why? Why I can probably see this, because open interest is going up and market is going down, right? So there is still a lot of people shorting Bitcoin on that regard, right? They think that that could be a good level to short. Now, who is going to win? So if you start selling, like a lot of sellers here, right, and then you get a massive spike up, that's what drives, that could be a driver price to the upside. So this is interesting that what happened just now, because this is a really good teaching moment. But obviously the best way to have a look at these things is really small time frames. Even 5 minutes is big. Is 1 minute and 5 minutes could be the best ways to see what the market is doing. But yeah, so essentially we are at the moment, from the short-term perspective, we are in the no man's land, right? It could take both directions. However, if we start piling more shorts and market keeps going up, then we do have a potential breakout to the upside. That definitely will be really good. So I'm still looking closely, because this just happened a few hours ago. So let's see how the market reacts. Now, I've been telling you guys all this week what I'm looking for. So essentially, this is like, if you go to Coinalyze, I'm having this obviously in 1 hour sort of price actions, and you do have your open interest, but the one that I'm following the most is the aggregated CVD spot. What that means is, when we start seeing a lot of spot increasing, that means that people on spot are buying. What that means is people are just buying Bitcoin again. And then that is the best way to know that we're going to have a sustained upside. So as you can see here, market, it looks like it's starting, but it's still, what I want to see is to make sure that we have a sustained sort of upside on volume on spot. To you know what I mean? But it looks good. Like, this is starting, but this could actually flip. Same thing that happened, when was it, on the 9th? You can start seeing increasing to the upside here on the volume, but then it wasn't sustained, and then bang, you got a little bit of a drop. So could get choppy this week. And if you add that with what's going on, there's a few macro events happening, I think CPI, and then on top of that, you're gonna get the Trump positioning next week on the 20th. It could get choppy, right? We could get probably, I don't like to guess, but this is very attractive. If you think about it from the perspective, let me ask you a question, right? Price dropped, most alts are down, right? And you see that Trump is going to get position on next week, technically on the 20th, right? What's your reaction? Do you want to sell? You want to buy? You want to hold? What do you guys think could be a really, like, yeah, okay, Tiana, buy more, buy. Correct. I'm with you. And a lot of people, especially when the Trump narrative, and obviously Trump and what's going to happen, but it could, like, that could be a sort of like a pump, because you don't know what's going to happen after Trump positioning. That he might start getting tariffs and things like that. But I'm with you in terms of, definitely, I'm bullish. I'm definitely bullish, right? I don't want to. So I'm looking to get position in some coins as well, and to see how the reaction happens after what is the reaction after Trump positioning, right? So that's kind of where I'm at, I mean, assessing from different fronts to see what's the best possible course of action for this week. Okay, so Rich, could be an anticlimax and things won't happen overnight and the bump. Yes, exactly. That could happen as well, Mike. So that's where I'm at. Price action looks pretty positive from that perspective. We do have some setups that it could be really interesting here. That doesn't mean that you could not trade them, because obviously we have that inclination of what Bitcoin may break this level here. If it does, then obviously the more sensitive next target will be definitely this one, the 99. And if it breaks and if it holds, then we could probably see a rally. Let's see if that happens, right? That's where I'm at the moment. So everything looks, yeah, market just start moving a little bit. Let's see how strong, these moves will become. So that's kind of my take on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum is less attractive, to be honest. There's not much happening, but it's holding. Come on. Let me wait until these levels. There you go. Okay, so it's still holding on this big. And by the way, if you guys seen my videos, all the purple levels that I draw, they are weekly levels, so they seem to be very strong. So you can actually see we try to break it, we claim it. It's nothing definite here because you do have liquidity around here, around the 3,300 area. But it looks like if this is sustained, that could be a really good trade, right? Like that could be a risk reward ratio in terms of if you take a trade from here and then stop loss around here, you can get 2-3R more than likely. Yeah, give or take. So that's, yeah, but I'm still not sold completely. See if it's gonna happen this week or next week. So I'm just tracking on this one, but it looks okay. Market looks bullish. If you look at total 3, so total 3, let's have a look. So total 3 definitely is holding. It's holding its line. It's holding. It's just obviously this level here is going to become really important in the next couple of days. But if we look at this from the weekly, like total 3 from the weekly perspective, right? Very similar price action. You do have a RTV, a perfect RTV here on the weekly. So it looks good, right? It looks good. Either goes to continuation or actually tries to provide liquidity. People get out. If you think it from that perspective, right? Let's say that we get this jump or pump or whatever, and then this level is going to become really interesting. Why? Depends on where the economy's at. Depends on what happens after Trump. That's going to be the defining moment to see if this is going to break out or if it is going to turn around. That's going to be very, very interesting. So that's what we're looking for. If it breaks, if everything becomes positive and everything, we could definitely see a little bit of a pump here. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm heading this week, which aligns with things that I talk on the New Year's, like those things are going to be defined after Trump. Let's see what happens in that. Between there, we might see a little choppiness around everything. Let's have a look at Solana. This is the weekly, but let's have a look at the daily. So daily. There we go. All right. So Solana is not doing much, to be honest, but it's holding this level here. I'm still not convinced. Can we get a little bit lower? Definitely. But can this be the bottom or the local bottom here? What do you guys think? Give me your thoughts. Is this the bottom? Do you think we might go lower on Solana?
I just pump Solana, pump. Just get back to those all-time highs and just erupt.
I know.
You can just get things going now. It's 2025.
Mate, and that's going to be forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's, I think the cycle is definitely not over. I think, could be wrong, but then there's a highly chance that we could definitely at least get like around all-time highs. You know what I mean? With how the macro things are doing, but it's just a lot of different things happening from then on, macro-wise. Why? We have a look at the S&P 500, right? S&P 500 is not doing great. So market is not doing great. This is the daily on the S&P 500. So let's see if this holds. If not, then we might see a little bit lower downside towards Bitcoin, right? So tracking this because market doesn't look really great. Japan doesn't look really great either. Same thing. So, it's an overall sort of market structure in a way, right? Everything is not looking great at the moment. So let's see if like main markets start picking up, right? So there is a narrative in Twitter. I don't know how true that will be, but that this is actually manufactured. And then obviously when Trump gets into office, we're going to see a massive rally, and he can actually talk about how good he is for markets and shit like that. Who knows, man? So many stupid things around. But then that's kind of where we're going. So yeah, that's kind of the overall sort of gist on the whole market. So I'm just staying cautious. Besides that, I'm just want to show you what I'm looking for this week in terms of coins. I'm doing a small list of AA agents. I'm still think that AA agents could have a second interaction with, call it that way, you know what I mean? But it's going to be some of them that's going to be sustainable and some of them that's going to be pretty crappy. So these plays are going to be very risky, but I'm still looking to get position on some of these ones here to longer term, right? For my spot. So let's talk about spec. I'm finding like I'm actually doing a little bit more research within the spec. Spec is like, same thing as virtuals, but actually it's more it's a different way, it's a different platform to create AI agents and things like that. The fact it looks like they haven't been able to get the tech right yet. So I'm still on the sidelines with that. But I've been highlighting these levels, right? I've been highlighting these levels. So I'll do more research in this one, and this could be like a really long-term hold for me. Mode is being my view for ages, and Mode is actually performing pretty good. So if you look at Mode where it was, and I did talk about it a while back. So on listing price, this thing went to probably 0.09. Yeah, almost. It went all the way up to 1 cent. The fact what happened with Mode is actually they fucked up the airdrops and things, and they banned a bunch of tokens that they shouldn't. That doesn't mean the technology is not there, but that doesn't mean that this could recover pretty good. What I think and I like about Mode is, one, is holding pretty well here. Two, the tech is keep getting developed, and now they are launching. They're gonna be launching some stuff in terms of DeFi, AI, and decentralized data and things like that. So that could be the next catalyst for this one. So I don't think this one could be a really good buy. So people are holding, they're not selling, which is good. This is not like a artificial pump or, so that's, I really like that one. We have Tau. I haven't get into Tau, so I think I want to consolidate some of my AA positions into Tau. Tau looks pretty good at this level, but yeah, Tau is still good. Dip, I did talk about Dip because this is the liquidity aspect of Sui. So actually, this one did really good, and same thing, people are not selling, so this could be a really good spot hold as well. Memes AI, even though it had a massive dump, I think when the meme sector is down massively. All our meme my meme portfolio is horrible, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay there. I think we'll have definitely we'll have another pump. But then obviously, what I did talk before is that the AI is stealing some action from memes, definitely. So in terms of AI agents, right, and AI infrastructure, I'm looking at this one, AI16Z. I'll talk about it more over this week because this could be a high risk, high reward. This one, I don't mind. The technology is not bad. In terms of AI stuff, I like these three, Refine and Acolyte. I did talk about it, but these ones are highly risky, guys. Highly, highly, highly risky. I'm still looking at some other plays, but then in terms of the AI small caps infrastructure, what I was looking is Guru. So Guru, funny enough, I think now I'm gonna start buying Guru. Very low market cap as well, but they do have interesting things happening. So this week, this have a look at this thing happen on Mexi. So someone actually got fucked on Mexi anyway when they bought or something, probably. And this is what happens with this lower liquidity stuff. Imagine that you put an order to buy here, and then because of the low liquidity, you might get filled at this price here, and you cannot do anything about it, right? If you do a market order, so that's tricky on low liquidity. However, if we look at Guru with the wrap ETH, which is basically how I'm going to buy it, I'm not going to use an exchange for this, right? Then it looks pretty okay, and it looks pretty okay from this regard. So, you know, when you see these projects going down, you have to ask if the tech is good, if they have to, you know, because chart wise looks freaking horrible. Tech, like the technical analysis on these things looks horrible. This is gonna go to zero, technically, right? But this could be the ones that actually come back quite a bit, right? When market actually turns around. So I'm looking at those ones. Virtual, let's talk about Virtual as well. So Virtual, same thing, but I'm still, and you know, I did share some Virtual, what is it called, dashboards. I'm still not seeing a lot of traction on people getting more AI agents. So this pump seems to be the ones that actually, like all these AI agents that already launched, right? Seems to be that was the attraction. And some of these agents are actually getting out of the platform, because virtuals, the way that virtuals work is it's very good for you to launch an AI agent, and that's kind of the market that they're appealing with. But now when the AI agents are actually had more liquidity, more market cap, apparently they're leaving the platform. I will have to confirm that. I was doing a little bit more research on this over the weekend, but that's where I'm at in virtual. So I'm still on the sidelines. But from that perspective, then my next level, if I say that virtuals is really good and you can actually see, I think this could be a really good level to buy. We might get it, we might not, depends if market recovers. So I think this is kind of the box. Not a bad idea to start looking to buy here, but still it's no reaction of market. You know what I mean? Like you can actually see that every time that the market sort of goes up, see a lot of people selling, use that liquidity to exit, right? So if you look at from small time frames, that's kind of what I'm looking that I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, and you can actually see it here. Instead of, if you look at from the small market structure perspective here, when things are going up, you know, you don't see many of these wicks down. You just see, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, and that's kind of the analysis that I'm doing. So that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. So yeah, keep an eye on these ones. I'll keep an eye on these ones, but I still really like it. Like obviously virtuals has done really great. It might come back. The funny thing is that going to be, let's say you bought here, or let's say we bought here, right? The thing that you have to ask yourself is on the second run, right? Because if this does a second run right here, right? Like that, around here, what's going to happen? Around here is that you providing liquidity for people to get out, or are people going to hold strongly and not sell? And that's when it's going to provide us with the second leg. And that will take us to 6.5. That's kind of what I'm seeing in virtual. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment, guys. It's nothing that excites me to actually get on right now. It might be a few like scalps here and there, but yeah, I'm in the middle. And whenever I'm in the middle, I'd rather not do anything. But whenever I'm in the middle is when I start feeling that I should start buying. So think about it from that perspective as well. So that's why I have my list, just having what's the best thing that I can buy. Definitely, I will not be doing anything on leverage, definitely. but that doesn't mean that we can start getting position or something. So let's have a look at hype. Yeah, people. Yeah. So change of stuff that we did last week. You know, we got out of some exchanges, coins, Phoenix coin and Woo, and then we basically went into hype, right? And then we bought our second lot around here. So we bought initially at around. What is this one here? So initially bought around, yeah, because this is our average. So initially bought at 6, then I bought more, we bought more at 25, then we bought more at 23 something. So our average, what it means is like we are around 12. So we're making, so it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. So as you can see, everything is actually either coming back or either bouncing towards a little, towards testing the lows again. Which one is going to be? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, that's what I'm seeing at the moment. So yeah, someone was asking the question how to divide the screen. So because I do like to see my high time frame on the left and smaller time frame 4 hours on the right, so you can actually see how the market behaving. Like if we look at Bitcoin, right? Let's have a look at Bitcoin. If you look like, right, so if you look this, if you look at Bitcoin from only the higher time frame perspective, right? This candle, even is low, or like you can actually see, you can only see the open and the close. You see only a bearish action here. But if you have the same candle and you analyze it from the smaller time frame, right, you can actually see what's going on. So this is the this is the candle here. So we start selling, we're trying to get up. We still, you can start seeing small time frame buyers, and then you can see sort of like capitulation and things like that. The downside of seeing things on the small time frame is that you might get chopped out. So obviously, this is good indication as well in terms of how the price might react, you know, initially. So for instance, right now, even though price actually went up a little bit, you can start seeing a lot of either shorts, right? Or people that actually long here getting out of their position. But what I think is happening, and how do you actually make that assessment, is that you go to, let's have a look at Velo data, and you know, smaller time frames and see what's going on. So I think what's going on is that shorts, it looks like people want to short that level. Right? Look, why? Because you know, it's the price going down. So this is going to be interesting, because when people start shorting, there's very either market goes down or either they bang get liquidated, and that's what's going to fuel the market to the upside. So interesting. So that's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. Sorry, I couldn't provide much more sort of direction, but I think stay cool, and then obviously we're gonna definitely call some leverage plays. Been dying to get some leverage plays in the market again. Which, by the way, let's have a look at our leverage plays, how they're doing. Yeah, and this is leverage trade that we've been in ages. So Mantle. So Mantle is actually doing pretty good. I'm not taking it out yet. Can we do another leverage price on Mantle? Not yet. Say is actually doing pretty good. Yeah, I might start looking to another ad into Say. So Say now is getting to the point that people, you know, you can actually see that this might be the level, but we are winning on this trade. We are up a lot on this trade. APT, APT, when like, yeah, APT is losing momentum, so I might not even get into it. Again, Drift is actually, Drift seems like this is the new level, 1.12. So it seems like people have accepted this level, that's new price on Drift. So who knows, maybe we might try a second try for Drift. Dodge is, yeah, Dodge is doing great, man. Like Dodge, is still doing great from our trade. So we enter around here, and yeah, so it's nothing to do with it. And order, so same thing. So in terms of all our leverage trades, I think we're very, very well positioned. I haven't getting any new leverage stuff in yet, but might be getting closer to it. So patience, I think patience could be the game. And so I think that's it, man. I think that's what I have for you guys. And unfortunately, just we're gonna have to wait and see what happens this week. How's the reaction on the market?
All right. I mean, that's the game, isn't it? Lay out the information and then track it and then see what occurs. Or just put it in FinRev and then you can relax.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
This is a game. Can we outperform FinRev? So far, we're doing great, but then obviously you have to be on the money every single day on it, right? So that's kind of the downside. Is that going to be on time? But yeah, no, I'm really interested in some opportunities. Definitely. Let's see how the market behaves. But yeah, could be choppy. Could be choppy, guys. Could be really choppy.
It could be. Hi, Miles. I don't have those figures to hand. That's the type of question you should ask Scott when he puts all the figures up on the question, dude. So this USDT in Europe, then, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, it's just another moving variable of crypto. The crypto landscape, you're welcome, Jaguar. The crypto landscape moves so quickly. So I think that it only affects Europeans. I think that USDT is still possible to purchase for now. So it's one of those things where you just got to watch the regulation, see what happens, and then you use a VPN like everybody else in the world does, and use something like USDC. Like, there's, things are rarely ever just implicitly this or that, and people will just use other things. Like, I think that the Europeans want to have their own digital currency. I think that's what this is. They want to have, the euro, the digital euro, so there's all kinds of shenanigans going out like that. So much like the North Korean hack the other week, wasn't it? There was somebody going on and on and on and on and on. It's like, this is crypto. It is highly risky, and I know that Scott is really interested in crypto security, and he's going to be talking to us more about crypto security. But crypto security, in a nutshell, is you want to have a second computer where you do all your dodgy shit, where you watch porn, where you download, where you do anything that you shouldn't do. You need to have a completely separate computer from it. Like, that's the reality of it. All right, Ian, well, I don't download porn. I don't do things like that. All right, then. Well, reevaluate yourself as a target, okay? You go on to Twitter, right? What do you actually know that's going on? Like, what links do you click? How much attention do you actually take to read if you are reading the correct person, or if somebody's done one of those very clever turning around of a little digit, if you know what I mean, so that you click the wrong thing. Discords. You go into Discords, right? Here's how Discords get hacked, okay? You have members of the team that use weak passwords. Those weak passwords get hacked, and then people in a Discord will act as one of the team members in the Discord, and they'll say, here you go, click on this link, bang, fuck you, your wallet's been drained, okay? there's basic wallet security in the welcome post, which is just having a multitude of wallets. And Scott's shown this before. So basically, I have a wallet in MetaMask called Hot Wallet, and then that's where click links and stuff would go into. Okay, but then I distribute funds out to these other wallets as well. So mainly, it's about clicking the wrong links, but it can also be if you go after like these really squiggly small coins, which is the dream, don't get me wrong, that is the dream, but you find yourself in all these different places having to click on these different links, you're not quite sure what you do, and then and then if you do get compromised, right, if you do think that your machine has been like hacked in any way, well, the security goes all the way to like reinstalling your operating system, because you want that kind of peace of mind of, right, I've been addicted to Pornhub for God knows how long and my computer is riddled, right? Then you probably need to do a master reset. Okay, running things like whatever, Bitdefender or something like that, like a respectable type of antivirus. Okay, then there's VPNs as well, right? This is the one that I like to see. Hey, Ian, I've just paid all this money for FinRev, and I've just stuck a huge amount of money in FinRev, but $5 for a VPN? You're asking me to pay $5? No, I'm going to go and source every free VPN I can that is just littered with ads and bugs and nonsense. It's like, you got to get real with some of these things, okay? So I just want to get you warmed up because I know that this is a real hot potato with Scott, Crypto Security, and he's going to be giving us a lot more information, a lot more explicit information, and a lot more start doing this and stop doing this. And this is like anything, it's all funny until it's you, and if you would lose, an amount that made your life different, if you were to lose that, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to swallow that. You know what I mean? So stay alert. So that said, we don't turn off the direct messages in the group, but if anybody sent a message that they think spurious, then the best thing to do is just to post a screenshot of it in the group and tag me as well, And there's a chap called Mark Timmis, and you should definitely click on his name and check out his stuff because he's got some amazing stuff for people taking their first steps in crypto. It's like just dox people that are trying to get you to click links, if you know what I mean, and then we can get rid of them. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, FinRev is a different level of security. It's off-site hard drives and all kinds of, and Scott will be talking through this, where all these servers are kept for FinRev, how they're secured, what the fail-safes are, what human beings have access to them, what happens if Scott was to die, like so on and so forth, if you know what I mean. He's already been through a lot of that type of stuff, and he'll happily talk about it again. But yeah, this is it, 2025. Woo-hoo!
Here we go. Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be. And by the way, I don't have my DMs on, guys. So obviously, if you receive a DM from me, it's not me, or don't send me DMs because obviously, like Ian said, just for security purposes. Yeah.
I've seen dick pics all day, and I'm thinking you've misunderstood what these DMs are for.
Very dangerous stuff, and that's with Discord and everything. So yeah. Be very careful with that stuff. Another tip is that instead of having, because I've seen that people might have different computers, if you don't have the resources or something, you can have different uses, like different user itself into the computer. That's one way, like my browsing, that's actually gives you a limit on, you can only trade on this account, or you can only if you create different uses within your computer, right? And that will be different profiles, different things. That's one way. having different profiles on Google Chrome or Google. That will be another way. So several ways, but just think it through. Definitely depends on how much money you have at the end of the day, right? Like if your capital is sustained, like if you do have a massive amount of whatever massive means for you, like something that is big from your perspective on FinRep, make sure you take care of it. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. The Chrome profiles, when you see the update for the Chrome profiles, you know, you want to update them as quickly as you can. And I think that, you know, I use a password manager called LastPass, you know, but I think you even want to go to the degree of having your you know, like your seed key phrases and stuff like that engraved in metal, you know, so that they're fireproof. And you know, you don't want to keep passwords and stuff like that like in the notes or in a Google Doc in Chrome or like anywhere like that, you know, like a password manager. We try not to foist too much of this stuff on you because there are different levels of technological understanding. And I know that it can be extremely challenging for some people just to use a VPN. But the reality is crypto is digital, and you know, you have to take every possible precaution that you can. That might mean that you have to buy a new computer, that you have to buy an antivirus, that you have to learn how to create a new Chrome profile, that you know, so like there is some work involved here. Yeah, I mean, and if we just get on board with that idea that we're gonna embrace crypto security in 2025, then we're all going to be on the beach doing whatever we want with whoever we want. Big money.
There you go.
He checks you in.
Awesome. Looking
See
forward, man. Looking forward to do that. All right, guys. I
you.
think that's it.
Ta-da.